Good morning, sixth graders. I hope everybody is doing well today and that you are ready to learn. We're going to start learning about Mesopotamia. We're going to be working on our stories, all that good stuff. So today you're going to need your social studies book because I do want you to read a portion of that. We already did the rest of the things. And you're also going to need your notebook to take some notes about social studies and maybe language arts as well. Okay, so getting started with our book talk today. So this book is called Rain, Rain. It's really good. It's about a little girl who's kind of lonely. It implies that she is autistic, and her dog gets lost in a storm, and it's about her journey to find him. It's called Rain, Rain. Her dog's name is Rain. She's like obsessed with homonyms, which are words that sound the same even though they mean different things. Okay, so anyway, this book is just really well written. It's really good. It's a little bit Wonder-esque, but isn't as funny. It also reminds me a little bit of Fish in a Tree, some dog books. Like if you love dog books, this would be a good one for you. Counting by Sevens, which I don't know if any of you have read. I'm going to book talk that one later. I'm trying to think. There's other books like this too. But it's really, really good. The author is Anne M. Martin, and it's just an awesome book. So that is that. You know what to do if you are interested in reading it. So let's go ahead and get started. Today we are on Tuesday. We are going to continue to kind of plan out our story. So yesterday you thought about ideas for your story. Hopefully one of them kind of popped out to you and you're feeling it more than the others and you want to develop that one into your story. So today we're going to start planning out those stories. So we're still talking about the personal narrative. So now that you've chosen your event, and if you haven't yet, you need to do that before you go on, you need to plan it out. What is the beginning of your story, kind of the introduction where the problem is set, which is the incident, what happened. Then the middle, how did you respond to what happened? And the end is your reflection. Okay, so you need to think about your beginning and middle and end of your story. And you also need to think about the IRR method of thinking of a story, which is the incident, response, and reflection. Okay, and if you are not clear on that, please ask me for help, get back on Zoom, email me, whatever you need to do. I'm here to help you. And I know that we spent some time on that, but not a ton, and it might have been new to you, so it might be something that's totally new, and that's totally fine. Okay, so when you are planning your beginning, here are some ideas to incorporate into your story. So first, what was the time and place? But of course, this is a story. You are not going to answer it and say, the time was 12:42 on a fall Tuesday. I was at my house. Okay, you're not going to say it like that, but you do need to bring those into the story to set the foundation. Who was there, so your characters, and what were you doing? What were you, the narrator, doing, thinking and feeling, okay? And then what happened? So the middle, you're going to kind of describe the events in chronological order, but again, you're going to do that in a storytelling way, not in like a lockstep informational way. What happened, the conflict, what were you and others doing, and what were you thinking and feeling, okay? So how did you deal with the conflict? What happened in the story, basically? And then the end is the reflection. How did it end? Where did you learn? What did you learn, discover, or realize, and how did you grow? Okay, so at this point, that's kind of what you're thinking. You're going to go to Otis Assessments and begin the planning page assessments. All right. So you're going to fill out your planning page in Otis. Okay, so that is language arts for today. At the end of today, probably this evening, I am going to go into Otis and just kind of check your progress so far. And then tomorrow, hopefully I will be able to work with kids who are not on track. Okay. So I'm going to write myself a note. Check planning pages. Got to write it down or I will never remember. All right. So now we're going to move on to history, and you should have pushed pause on me and worked on your language arts and things like that. These videos are not meant to be watched all in one sitting. Okay, so today in social studies, we are going to start learning about Mesopotamia, which is kind of exciting. It was the first real civilization. So it's just kind of cool. So Mesopotamia, or the Sumerians, and this right here we can take a look at and watch this video. Okay, this is the ancient Mesopotamia song. I've heard a lot about this from the other 6th grade teachers. Apparently it's quite catchy, so you can watch this as many times as you want.
Euphrates River. Hey, I got a new lesson for you about ancient Mesopotamia. The Euphrates River and the Tigris River formed the cradle of civilization. Akkadians long ago conquered Sumer, took control. Sargon led his armies in their chariots. They rolled by the Euphrates River, by the Euphrates River, by the Euphrates River, by the Euphrates River, by the Persian Gulfs where they found ancient ruins underground. Archaeologists did lots of excavation down by the Euphrates River, by the Euphrates River, by the Euphrates River, both the Euphrates River and the Tigris River used to flood, bringing lots of fertile mud. But the problem was that water washed away the crops. Dams and levees made it stop. When it was dry, they'd irrigate. Fighting over water led to war between the city-states. Cuneiform is ancient writing that tells us Sumer city-states were always fighting. They were the first civilization in Mesopotamia. Then came the Akkadians who started Empire Mania. Akkadians long ago conquered Sumer, took control. Sargon led his armies in their chariots. They rolled by the Euphrates River, by the Euphrates River, by the Euphrates River, by the Euphrates River, near the Persian Gulfs where they found ancient ruins underground. Archaeologists did lots of excavation down by the Euphrates River, by the Euphrates River, by the Euphrates River, by the Euphrates River. King Sargon got real old, told his sons to take the throne, but the huge Akkadian empire would fall out of their control. Then came Hammurabi, who would take full command. Hammurabi was the king of the Babylonians, man. Babylonia was the land where they told you obey Hammurabi's code, praise Hammurabi's code, break Hammurabi's code, and you'll be saying, oh no. Akkadians long ago conquered Sumer, took control. Sargon led his armies in their chariots. They rolled by the Euphrates River, by the Euphrates River, by the Euphrates River, by the Euphrates River, near the Persian Gulfs where they found ancient ruins underground. Archaeologists did lots of excavation down by the Euphrates River, by the Euphrates River, by the Euphrates River, by the Euphrates River. Babylonians built roads, they traded grain for gold. They kept themselves united under Hammurabi's code. Hammurabi's code, Hammurabi's code, Hammurabi's code, Hammurabi's code, which was a bunch of laws they believed it had no flaws. They obeyed it just because they thought Hammurabi was chosen by the gods. Oh, chosen by the gods. Oh. Akkadians long ago conquered Sumer, took control. Sargon led his armies in their chariots. They rolled by the Euphrates River, by the Euphrates River, by the Euphrates River, by the Euphrates River, near the Persian Gulfs where they found ancient ruins underground. Archaeologists did lots of excavation down by the Euphrates River, by the Euphrates River, by the Euphrates River, by the Euphrates River. Mesopotamia.
All right, so that's fun. Okay, so that's Mesopotamia and the Sumerians. That gives you an idea of what some of the things that we're going to be studying are all about. So next one, our essential question. How does geography influence the way that people live? Okay, and geography is where in the world you are. Okay, so it's the place you live in. So the first civilizations in Mesopotamia. Why did people settle in Mesopotamia? Mesopotamia means the land between the rivers. So I don't know if you remember from the video we just watched, There was the Tigris River and the Euphrates River, and in between was like a plain of land. Okay, so we're going to watch this little video on Mesopotamia next.
Writing's not that easy, but Grammarly can help. This sentence is grammatically correct.
All right.
The story of writing, astronomy, and law. The story of civilization itself begins in one place. Not Egypt, not Greece, not Rome, but Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia is an exceedingly fertile plain situated between the Tigris and the Euphrates rivers. For 5 millennia, this small strip of land situated in what is today Iraq, Kuwait, and Syria fostered innovations that would change the world forever. Inhabited for nearly 12,000 years, Mesopotamia's stable climate, rich soil, and steady supply of fresh water made it ideal for agriculture to develop and thrive. About 6,000 years ago, seemingly overnight, some of these agricultural settlements blossomed into some of the world's first cities. In the period between 4000 and 3100 BC, Mesopotamia was dotted with a constellation of competing city-states. At one point, they were unified under the Akkadian Empire and then broke apart, forming the empires of Assyria and Babylon. Despite near constant warfare, innovation and development thrived in ancient Mesopotamia. They built on a monumental scale, from palaces to ziggurats. Mammoth temples served as ritual locations to commune with the gods. They also developed advanced mathematics, including a base 60 system that created a 60-second minute, a 60-minute hour, and a 360-degree circular angle. The Babylonians used their sophisticated system of mathematics to map and study the sky. They divided one Earth year into 12 periods. Each was named after the most prominent constellations in the heavens, a tradition later adopted by the Greeks to create the zodiac. They also divided the week into 7 days, naming each after their 7 gods, embodied by the 7 observable planets in the sky. But perhaps the most impactful innovation to come out of Mesopotamia is literacy. What began as simple pictures scrawled onto wet clay to keep track of goods and wealth developed into a sophisticated writing system by the year 3200 BC. This writing system would come to be called cuneiform in modern times and proved so flexible that, over the span of 3,000 years, it would be adapted for over a dozen different major languages and countless uses, including recording the law of the Babylonian king Hammurabi, which formed the basis of a standardized justice system. But Mesopotamia's success became its undoing. Babylon, in particular, proved too rich a state to resist outside envy. In 539 BC, the Persian king Cyrus conquered Babylon and sealed his control over the entirety of Mesopotamia. For centuries, this area became a territory of foreign empires. Eventually, Mesopotamia would fade, like its kings, into the mist of history, and its cities would sink beneath the sands of Iraq. But its ideas would prevail in literacy, law, math, astronomy, and the gift of civilization itself.
All right, that was super interesting and gave you a lot of information about Mesopotamia. Let's go on to the next one. Sorry. Okay, so the Tigris and Euphrates rivers are 2 rivers which flowed through the Fertile Crescent. And that was the area of land. That was the area of land between the 2 rivers. It was called the Fertile Crescent because it was excellent farmland. They were important to the development of the Mesopotamia civilization. Okay, and then You can see some examples of that. And then in the video we just watched and in the rap video too, there were some good pictures of that. The Tigris and Euphrates rivers start in Southwest Asia. They begin in the mountains of what are now Turkey and Kurdistan. From there, they flow through what is now Iraq to the Persian Gulf. Okay. So some things that, some vocabulary for you is silt. That is a mixture of rich soil and tiny rocks, which is sand, deposited by water. So when the rivers would overflow, they would leave behind this silt. And silt is really good for farming. It's like a natural fertilizer. It's excellent soil. So living by the river, not only did they have this access to the water, but it gave them silt, which was really good for farming. Okay. And I think that's it for today. Okay, so that's our vocabulary word, just to kind of know, sorry. So anyway, that's the introduction to Mesopotamia. In your textbooks, it's only like 2 pages. You guys need to read page 38 to 40, okay, and then take notes. And I should have said this before, but you should have been taking notes on the social studies part. And then again, when you are writing in your, or reading in your textbook. And remember, your textbooks are consumables. That means you can write in them however you want. You can highlight important parts. You can put stars next to things. You can write notes in the margins. It's your book, so use it and interact with it. Okay, and that is our day. I hope the rest of your day is amazing. I can't wait to see your ideas for your stories and explore Mesopotamia with you further. Have an amazing day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.